The outlook today, we'll start with a GU. Now, looking like we're just going to continue selling. I'd like to sell it. I just don't like the chances of coming back up to be able to sell it. I think it's pretty likely just going to continue selling. So what we've had, obviously, if we just refresh back a little bit, we broke that weekly high not too long ago. So expecting a deep retracement has been something that we've been, obviously anticipating since we took that high and has been very due for it. Very well can, of course, come all the way down here. It can even come and work its way all the way down here over the next however long. At the moment, it's retracing quite quickly. So who knows at this rate, especially with everything that's going on in the world. But yeah, obviously got a lot of bearish momentum. The issue is now the fact that we've taken this 4 hour low. It makes a lot of sense for the market to have a good retracement, of course, because now we've got this bearish leg. It's going to need to retrace eventually before continuing bearish. So it's a matter of making sure that we're not getting caught out in a bit of a tricky spot. These times in the markets where we're waiting to confirm whether we're starting a complex pullback or whether we're continuing with momentum, it's always the hardest area to trade, and it's always where you take the most losses. So we want to be very, very cautious with this. What it does look like we're potentially building up here is some internal retest up here that we can potentially come and induce, mitigate this area and get a little bit of a sell. Now, I do have this area marked as a smart money trap because it is retest of our 15-minute external break. However, it is a demand to supply area that led to the break of this low. So although it's retest and hasn't taken any liquidity, we are taking good liquidity into the mitigation of it. So I'm happy to sell out of there for a short-term sell. I wouldn't be looking to hold it long term, but I'd be looking for it to induce something else before potentially continuing bullish. So I'd be looking for something like, some sort of build up like this. Maybe we get some sort of decisional area built up, target the inducement of the decisional, and then for the buy on the way back up. So that's more or less what I'm looking for. I just don't think it's going to get there at the moment. It's clearly very bearish. We may get this sell off like this, which will then just have this as external retest rather than internal, which is also fine. It just means we've got to wait a little bit longer. So I'm not going to be surprised if the trades this week are more so Thursday, Friday trades rather than, any time between now and Wednesday. But yeah, so that's what I'm looking at on GU. Now, EU's somewhat similar. So EU, if I just zoom out a little bit, same story in terms of like they've been on the daily, what it's induced. We've now induced the decisional area, the entirety of that decisional area of that 4 hour break. So again, really, really good liquidity. Starting to approach that more so like extreme area, which is great. Does make sense to give the market a bit of a pushback up, but again, we're so bearish. So I'm not going to, obviously expect anything. Got our 15-minute external leg here, a bit of retest build up, so that's great, but nothing to confirm buys just yet. What we need and what I'm looking to see if the market wants to somewhat start to give it is we've got some 5-minute structure built up here. Low outside of Asia. Asia low sweep, brought in some buyers, induced, and now we've taken the low outside of Asia, which is somewhat technically a medium inducement, but the context doesn't really match in this situation for it to be a medium inducement. Likely to just continue selling. But what we do have here is a pretty average supply, should be a smart money trap given what's been induced. If we can do something like this, pull up, mitigate that smart money trap, have a 5-minute break and retest, induce that break and retest, mitigate, work inside of here, new smart money trap, induce, and then, again, induce, enter, push. I'd be open to something like that. It's just going to take a lot of structure to build it up, and I need a lot of structure built up if I'm going to be doing something like that. But at this stage, again, same story with GU. I would rather sell it at the very least. I need to sell it from here, which is the high above Asia, mitigating a point that did sweep a little bit of liquidity, and is also as well a supply to demand, demand to supply inducement, and mitigation as well in the same sense. So yeah, that's that. Just broken that 5-minute low. Yeah, looking unlikely for anything, if I'm being quite frank. So we'll see. We'll see. AU, I don't really have an outlook for. Obviously, still looking like, we're going to buy, mitigating that decisional break, inducement, mitigation, internal break, potential smart money trap, 2 breaks out of it. We're just sweeping Asia low though. It looks like buys. I just don't really have much in the way of anything to be able to buy. This isn't really a breaker structure. Like there's your internal break just there. This is kind of just a bigger two leg of some internal decisional mitigations. Yeah, it's kind of just not a lot to work with on AU. So I'm just going to sit on my hands with it and just let it do its thing. I will monitor it, if it comes up here, that's great. Would I look to sell up there? Probably not. In terms of buys, to be honest, I don't even know where I'd buy it from. Maybe if we can induce the decisional, somewhat decisional kind of thing here, I might have a look and see what it does after the fact. But yeah, we're not really in the spot to do anything with AU. Looking at the DXY is in the decisional of a 4 hour and previous 1 hour external break. I can clear up a little bit of this garbage here now, make it a little bit easier to read. Get that out of the way, get that out of the way. Sweet. All right, cool. Yeah. But again, looking like a smart money trap and just going to get blown through it based on momentum, which is just going to keep pushing GU and EU down. We need the DXY to give a bit of a reaction from here to be able to help out with, yeah, the EU and GU coming up a little bit to be able to sell them. But at this stage, guys, it's not looking likely. So we're just going to sit on our hands, which, it's kind of expected given the current climate of the world for the markets to not be the best this week. So just can be patient. Good news tonight, red folder. And yeah, some speeches, which I'm not surprised about throughout the night and in the morning during New York session. Um, yeah, so it's looking more or less the same on Forex Factory. Got that as orange folder about CPI flash. So we give a decent little push. Yeah, bit of red folder, and that's about it. So look, guys, we will wrap it up there. Again, I'm not expecting today to be anything crash hot. I'm not looking for too much as is. So we'll speak to yous. We'll keep the chat obviously going. Any questions, that sort of stuff, use this time for, that which most of you have been doing, which is really cool. But other than that, guys, I'll speak to you all soon anyway.